Very well. We are now crossing over to the Sarova Pan-Africa Hotel. You do remember that this week is the World Breastfeeding Week, and here in Kenya we're having an event. Let's first of all listen in.
Have to have all the enabling perfect situation to be able to reach out and ensure the implementation, but whatever is possible to start with and to begin with, that you're able to provide an empathetic and sympathetic ear and reaching out to the people and checking with the young mothers and parents itself is the first beginning and the start. While 3 months maternity leave, as I mentioned, is a great and a good proposition, but we would like to see and join SUN initiative, the civil society initiative's call, to extend it to 6 months in Kenya, which is the recommended minimum period of exclusive breastfeeding for children's health. Maternity leave is one of the best ways to ensure that the exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months happen uninterrupted. Distinguished guest, the global recommended target for exclusive breastfeeding is 70%, and Kenya has made great strides in improving indicators in the past. However, as Martha mentioned, there have been no significant changes recorded in breastfeeding. Reflection, the KDH's report that was recently released shows us that the rate of exclusive breastfeeding has actually declined from 62 to 60% as compared to year 2014. So the new survey that showed that only 38% of infants aged 4 to 5 months were exclusively breastfed for the first 6 months of life. So the prevalence of bottle feeding increased from 22% to 34% over the same period. And disparities between the counties on breastfeeding persist. Counties like Kisumu, where it has a 22%, whereas counties like Villaggio has about close to 88%. So UNICEF, in partnership with Ministry of Health, county governments and others, the SUN initiatives working on targeted nutrition intervention, such as nutrition counseling and education, delivered through the strategy set, baby-friendly hospitals and baby-friendly community initiative. Last year, these efforts have reached over 87,000 caregivers across 5 counties. So what are our next steps? UNICEF and WHO are supporting the government's efforts to promote breastfeeding through policies, regulations and advocacy for breastfeeding in workplaces through our partnership with SUN initiatives and all other alliances, including the Kenya private sector alliances. UNICEF has partnered with KBC to advance support for breastfeeding for women in the private sector, but we need increased collaboration from governments and private sectors coming together to ensure that the Health Act is fully implemented, including lactation spaces and breaks for breastfeeding employees. We are simply better together. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, the rights for the mothers and children are protected, and UNICEF is calling the government and private sector employers to ensure that the policies and regulations that have been stipulated by law to enhance breastfeeding are actually implemented. Right now, there are over 100 organizations adhering to workplace support for breastfeeding in the private sector as a result of KBC's advocacy. But there's more than in the public sector that is required. And we need to ensure the provision of paid maternity leave as stipulated in the Employment Act is being implemented. Distinguished guests, family-friendly policies that support breastfeeding are critical to maternal and infant health and well-being, is critical to the health and the sustainable economic development of our country. Breastfed children who have been benefited from exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months, and that we've heard the stories, plus complementary feeding for the 2 years or more, will grow into healthy citizens. We owe our children the best possible start in life, especially during the critical first 1,000 days of life. And we owe our mothers a conducive environment to be breastfed while providing for the family through paid work, and let us work together to do so better for our mothers and for children and for our country and for our economy. Asante Sana.